Welcome to the Wise Guides. I'm Evie. I'm your host, and I'm also a first-gen professional with over a decade of experience in corporate HR. I'm here to provide you with practical guides on how to increase your wealth and your happiness at work. Whether you're feeling like an imposter in that new job, juggling a million responsibilities, or just trying to get your foot in the door, this is your space to find real, no BS advice, hear from people who have already been there, and maybe even laugh a little along the way. So grab your coffee or your glass of wine, settle in, and let's dive into today's topic. You are exactly where you need to be. Hi, and welcome back to the Wise Guides. Today's topic is all about connecting your work to your company's goals. Now, before you groan and say, great, another lecture about corporate synergy, let me stop you there. This isn't a sleeping fest about mission statements and vision statements that you never actually read. Here's the thing. Connecting your work to the company goals isn't just about making your boss happy or acing your performance review. Although it's actually really important to do both of those things, it's actually about understanding why your work actually matters. Because if you're spending 30, 40, maybe 60 hours a week at your job, wouldn't it be nice to know that you're actually contributing to something bigger than just your to-do list? So in today's episode, we're going to unpack why this connection is so important, how it can help you supercharge your career, and of course, how to actually do it without turning into that weird, overly excited, enthusiastic person in the company who just champions the goals. So let's start with the why. Why does connecting your work to your company goals actually matter? And no, the answer isn't just because HR said to do so. First, it's about visibility. When you can clearly articulate how your work ties into the big picture, it shows your manager and their manager that you're not just checking off the boxes. You're thinking strategically. And trust me, that kind of mindset is what gets you noticed. When it's time to talk about promotions and raises, you are the person that they think about. Second, it boosts your own motivation. It's intrinsically motivating. Imagine that you're working on a big project, but you have no idea why it's important. You're just spinning your wheels wondering, why am I doing this? On the flip side, when you understand how that project drives a key company initiative, like launching a new product or improving customer experience, it suddenly feels a lot more meaningful. And let's be real. If you ever sat through one of those painfully vague all-hands meetings where the leadership says things like, we're aligning our strategies to maximize our shareholder value, you probably thought, why does that even matter for me? That disconnect is where the frustration and disengagement actually comes from. In the HR world, we know that when employees understand how their work connects to the company's goals, they're not just more engaged, but they're also more likely to stay long-term. So it's in our best interest as HR and leaders to ensure that employees are connected to the work. And here's the thing. Most companies think that they're doing a good job at communicating their goals, but many employees still feel like they're still in the dark. So if you're sitting here thinking, I have no idea how my work fits into the overall company goals, you're not alone, but it's definitely an opportunity that you can utilize to stand out at your workplace. Okay, but let's face it, connecting your work to company goals isn't super easy. It's not as simple as it sounds. First of all, there might be a lack of clarity. Sometimes companies aren't even clear about their goals, and they just say, we're doing a little bit of this, we're doing a little bit of that, and they're vague, and it's hard for you to figure out where you actually fit in. Next is tunnel vision. Another challenge is getting stuck in your own bubble. You're so focused on your individual tasks or team projects that you forget about the big picture. Next is feeling disconnected. There's definitely an emotional side. Maybe you're working for a company whose goals don't exactly light up your fire. It's hard to feel excited about aligning your work with goals that you don't really personally connect with. And of course, there's imposter syndrome, whispering, who are you to think that your work actually impacts company goals? Spoiler alert, it does. And we're going to talk about how to silence that little voice inside of your head. If you've ever felt any of these struggles, you're not alone. And guess what? We can solve all of them. So how do you connect your work to company's goals in a way that's meaningful and maybe even a little bit of fun? First is you want to get clear on your company's goals. You want to understand what the heck your company's trying to achieve. This might mean going back to that all-hands meeting deck or that town hall meeting and looking through the annual report. Yes, I know this sounds super exciting, but trust me, it's really worth it. You need to know who you're working for. What are they doing? How are they changing or impacting the world? So the actual action step here is to look at your company's top 3 priorities for the year. Is it to acquire more customers? Is it to expand into different markets? Is it to reduce the costs? Is it cost reduction? Highlight the ones that relate to your specific department. Next is you want to map your work to these goals. So once you know what the company's goals are, it's time to connect the dots. Ask yourself, how does my role or the projects that I am working on drive these bigger objectives? For example, if the company's goal is to improve customer retention and you've been working on streamlining the onboarding process, then boom, there's a direct link. Write it down. You're specifically contributing to the company's goal of customer retention because you're making it easier for new customers to get onboarded. So the action step here is to create a goal map. On one side, you're going to write down all of the company's goals, the ones that we pulled from the town hall deck, from the annual reports. And on the other list, we want to list your specific projects. And then we're going to draw specific lines to connect one of the company's goals to the projects that you're working on. Next is you want to share these insights with your manager. Here's where the magic happens. Once you mapped out all of your work goals connected to your company goals, let's share it with your manager. This is going to show initiative and helps them advocate for you for opportunities when they arise. It's also a good opportunity for you to ask them if maybe you missed something or maybe there's something that's not listed on there that it should really showcase some of the work that you're doing or really connects to a company goal. The specific action step here is during your next one-on-one with your manager, say something like, I've been thinking about how our specific team works to support the company's goal. Here's what I've noticed. Do you think there's anything I've missed? And show them the list that you have pulled together. Next is you want to find a personal connection. If the company's goals feel a little meh to you, find a personal angle. Maybe you're not super excited about maximizing shareholder value, but what you are excited about is how your work makes customers' lives easier. So focus on that instead. The action step here is to write down one way that your work aligns to your personal values, even if it's small, but it's something that you care about. So how does the company drive the value that you actually care about? And how are you specifically connected to that? And the last thing on here is we want to celebrate the small wins. Sometimes company goals feel so big that it's hard to see how our day-to-day work actually contributes to it. That's why it's really important to celebrate progress along the way. Let's keep a running list here of mini wins, like hitting project milestones or getting positive feedback from a client. And then you can share these during team meetings to show your work and how your work is driving company results. And spoiler alert here, documenting these small wins makes it super, super easy to write your next annual performance review. So let's bring it all together. Today, we talked about how connecting your work specifically to company goals is so important. It boosts your visibility, boosts your motivation, and gives you a sense of purpose. We also tackled common challenges like lack of clarity, imposter syndrome, and shared practical steps to map out some of your work to these specific goals. So what happens when you don't feel connected to the goals of your company? That's something that we didn't talk about today. And it's important to consider that sometimes we need to work for organizations that we are intrinsically connected to. So maybe this is an opportunity for you to pivot. If you feel strongly that you want to work for a company where you care about the company goals and you care about the value, and for some reason you don't feel connected to that in your current organization, this is an opportunity for you to explore what else is out there. Do you want to consider working for an organization where you feel more aligned to the work that they're doing on a consistent basis? So here's your homework. Take 15 minutes this week to create your own goal map. It's really worth it. You want to ensure that you can connect the stuff that you're doing to the overall company goals. And if you don't find much connection, or if you don't find an opportunity for you to feel intrinsically motivated, then let's think about making a change. Because it's really important for us to feel like the work that we're doing every day is giving value to the company and to the world. And just like that, you've received your dose of work wisdom. I hope you're walking away with something that makes you feel a little bit more confident, a little bit more seen, and a whole lot more capable. Remember that the journey is yours. There's no one right way to do it, and it's okay to take it one step at a time. If today's topic hit home for you and you're thinking you can use a little extra support, I'd love to chat one-on-one. Head over to the show notes so you can figure out how to book some time with me. And if you enjoyed hanging out with me, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you're feeling a little generous, please leave a quick review. It can help more people like us find the show. Plus, I'd love to hear what you think. Let's keep the conversation going. Follow me on Instagram at WorkWiseGuide.